There we go. Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Dragon's Lair. If you noticed, I'm outside. It's actually a pretty nice fall day, not too cold. It's supposed to rain really hard tonight, so I figured, you know what, since it's not raining today, right now, and it's nice out, figured I'll do the video outside. The new fence is up around the whole townhouse complex, and it actually looks really nice. I'm actually impressed. Except for them painting it black. But you know what? That's fine. I'm good. So my deck or my porch, my backyard is all back to normal. Some of it's packed up for the winter. So I originally was going to set out the outside altar, but just in case it does start sprinkling, because Washington has a habit of sprinkling even when the sun's out. I didn't want to do all that, get the computer in, get the altar stuff packed away while it's raining, but at some point I'll show you the outside altar. It looks really cool. But for today, we're going to be doing the unboxing of the witch casket box. It came this morning, so I figured I'll do the video today since I had to go do errands and I was already all dressed. So I figured before I take everything off and sit and relax and watch some horror movies, I'll do that, do the video. Before we get to the box, I do want to mention a couple of things. The witch casket creators, Deb and Ella. Deb has her new book out. I can't remember the name of it because mine's on the way. I pre-ordered it. I'm sorry. I'll look it up and I'll put the link in the box below, along with Witch Casket's website, my Instagram. And if you want to check out my books that I have written, I've written fiction and non-fiction literature, done poetry, I've done stage play, I've done multiple things. So if you want to check that out, I'll also put my link of my published works down below, so you can always check that out too. But mostly this is just for the witch casket stuff. I do have, you can always purchase my copy of my Book of Shadows. That's in my non-fiction section. It's the Dragon's Book of Shadows. And then you could also buy, if you want to see what my Druid order looks like, you could always buy the handbook. We sell it. I don't have a problem selling handbooks to non-members. So you can check those out too, which would be cool. And thank you if you do purchase any of them. But I want to talk about Witch Casket. Before that, I want to welcome all the new viewers. If you're new here, thank you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit the thumbs up. They all help to make the channel grow. Even though my channel grows slowly, but that's fine with me because this isn't my job. I do this as a side gig, but as a hobby more or less. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you. And for the new people, I do this in every video, I know, but it's good because if you're gonna watch this video and you're new and get interested, it's good to know. Witch Casket is a monthly subscription box. It's £29 in the UK, £32 in Europe, and £36 in the United States. And the United States, it comes out to be $50 at the moment. So that's actually not bad. And you get at least $100 worth of items in this box. And if you're a new witch, beginning witch, anything, even an older practitioner that's been doing it for years and years like me, even though I'm not really a witch, I'm a druid, but I do have, our druid order actually has combinations of some of the old Gardnerian and Wicca stuff in it, so. And maybe someday I'll do a video on my Druid order. I just thought of that. Yes, I'll have to get up with the other elders and we'll have to talk and decide that we could create a video for it. But it's a monthly box, shipped with, sent with love from the UK. And you do get about $100 worth of stuff. If you went to a magic shop, witch's bookstore, you would probably spend a lot more for a lot of this stuff, especially here in the States. I don't know what it would be like if you walked into a witch's shop in the UK or France or anything, but I know here in the United States, prices have gone up, and it's just not because of the tariffs. It's just because they're specialty items and they're specialty stores, so they charge more, unfortunately. For every box that the company sells, a tree is planted, and you could always check out on their website how many trees they have planted. I think it's like I know it's over 200,000. I think it's almost 300,000 or more now. So that's cool, and they show you where they are planted too. So my morning chai. What else? As you've noticed, it comes in this plastic bag, but it is 100% biodegradable. Everything in here is recyclable or biodegradable. The packaging peanuts are biodegradable because they're made out of cornstarch. They're animal cruelty free, and when they do have them in there, they're vegan friendly, so if that's a plus for you guys. That's cool. And another cool thing is if you're still in the broom closet, like some new beginners are, or like I was just talking to an old friend of mine, and his granddaughter is just learning about occult stuff, and she's wanting to learn about witchcraft and stuff. So the father he sent the father over, his son-in-law over to me to talk to me about it and stuff. So I had to tell him that yes, there are bad things, but there's also a lot of good things, and talk to your daughter about it. Don't hide. Don't make her have to hide stuff. But other than that, if you're new and you need to hide it, the packaging has nothing that says witchcraft on it, which is cool. So if you're still in the broom closet, have nosy neighbors, nosy parents, or nosy roommates, they'll never know. So you can keep it to yourself, or you can do what my friend did, send his son-in-law over to me and talk to me about it and stuff. But I wouldn't suggest sending everybody over to me. But if you do have questions, if you're a new beginner, if you have questions, you can always ask the people, everybody. Just don't ask one person, ask multiple people, because most of the time they'll always have different answers on how they did it or how they are practitioners. So just stay safe, especially around the time of Samhain, Halloween, All Hallows Eve, whatever culture or area you live in calls it. Because this is, I have no idea what happened. My camera just stopped. So, but as I said, especially around the time of Halloween, witchcraft, druidry, whatever you there's even people call that differently too, because some of our members of our grove call it druidry, some of them call it druidism. I catch myself, I do both. So but ask never hurts to ask questions, especially to people that have been doing it for a long time. Go to your local library, check out books. If you live in a city that actually has a magic shop, go and ask questions. They're not going to turn you away because they want you to actually learn. And if you do feel safe talking to your parents about it, do it. It's never a bad thing to talk to your parents. Have them sit down, even when you're an adult. Have them sit down, talk to them, going, "Hey, this is my beliefs. This is my religion now. So this is how I believe and how I practice." So it never hurts. I needed to say that, especially after a friend of mine, my friend, FaceTimed me and we were talking. So, I mean, I thought that was a good idea just to say that. So, but yeah, you never have anything marked on here. Even the customs declaration doesn't even say which casket. It says the matrix. So, I mean, but that's cool. But I really like this cat. I should say they're not sponsored. I've been subscribing to them for 3 years now. In January of 2026, it'll be 4 years now. So, and I have to say, yes, I know my videos are always positive, because they are. This is one of my favorite subscription boxes. I used to do tons of them, and after a while I was like, okay, I'm going to hold off on those for a while and then get back into them. But this one I've kept all the way through for the 3 years, and more or less 4 or 5. I'm going to stick with it because I like everything in the box. Everything in the box is useful. It's geared towards some practice of yours, even if you don't practice witchcraft. And you practice something else. Useful stuff. And the stuff that I don't use, I display or give to a friend. And I actually have a couple of friends that I give the things to, and they're grateful for them because they go, "Ooh, I was actually thinking of just going out and buying something like this. Thank you." So, and the other thing is when you order subscribe to them, or even just order for the month, you don't have to subscribe. You can just do it month to month, or month after month, or every other month, because they always release a theme. And next month's theme, November's theme, is fire magic. So, and this one is the witching hour, which in legend was always 3:30 in the morning. So, but more on that later. But I forgot where I was going with that. But okay, sorry. But yeah, no. I like every item in here. Oh, yes. Now I remember. When you subscribe to them for that month, when they are ready to ship, and they ship on the 15th of the month, unless that's a Sunday, and then they ship on the 16th, which is that following Monday, which is fine. And it takes about a week to get to me. It actually took exactly a week, because the 15th was last Tuesday and today's Tuesday. So, which is cool. It never takes long, and I live on the other side of the United States. I live in Washington State. So, I mean, and customs doesn't usually take long, because once they look at the box, and then once they see it month after month, it just goes through most of the time. There was the one time that my box traveled all over the country. It went from Los Angeles Customs to Oregon to the Seattle metro area, then back down to Oregon, then across to New Jersey, then Florida, then back to Oregon, then back up to me. That took 2 weeks. So, I mean, other than that, usually customs, it usually doesn't take long. The box is also recyclable, but as I was saying, once you order them for the month and they send you an email saying your box is on its way, you'll actually get a link with a code to their Emporium, which is on their online store. And I got an email today stating pretty soon the online store will be available again to American customers, which is cool because I need to purchase a couple of things. And then their classes, they do, Deb and Ella do study classes, which is another good thing for beginners if you want to get into it. Take the classes, go online, go on to their link and and look at the classes. They're open to American students again, because you get stuff mailed to you when you take a class. But the Emporium is great. You can buy past witch casket products from previous boxes, which is always cool. And you also get stuff to download off the email. You get you get 6 things. You get 2 wallpapers, one for your phone, one for your laptop or desktop. You get a short little video of some kind of spell or some kind of training thing. You get a what's coming for next month, like a little hint thing coming next month. You get another you get something else. I always forget the 6th thing. And then you also get a page for your Book of Shadows, which is cool. And if you want, I just realized this, next week I'll be putting a blog out on how to create a Book of Shadows and a Book of Grimoire, or a Grimoire. So check that blog out. And if you haven't ever read my blogs, I'll link that too, even though that's not really connected to Witch Casket, but it does, because I think I did one this on Saturday on how to set up an altar and the mistakes some people make. So go check that out. Okay. That looks like a piece of tape. What is a piece of tape? I never noticed that. I've had this laptop for years and I never noticed that that was actually a piece of tape. Sorry, squirrel. But other than that, it's actually a great box. I've loved it from the beginning, from the first time I bought the box. And if you ever have any questions, you could just email them, and they're usually pretty quick about responding. I'll email them at night because England is 8 hours difference from where I live. So if I have a question, I'll usually email them right before I go to bed, and then usually when I wake up, there's an email response. So I mean, that's cool. It's a great company, great people to talk with. So let's get started with the box. I know you're probably tired of me talking and want to see what's in the box, so we'll do that now. Okay, so here's the box. And they always have the shipping. They always have the shipping and customs label on the top. So, but there's the box, and this is about the only time you'll actually see it saying Witch Casket. So, and the box is recyclable. I use them for storage most of the time. So here's the cheat sheet. Witch Casket, October 25, the witching hour. And inside, you'll always have artwork on the first cover, and then a little letter from Deb and Ella. Welcoming you, talking about the casket itself, and then all the items that are in the casket. And in the old days, you used to be able to get, you were always guaranteed 5 items for sure in it. And those 5 items were always the art print, the scroll for your Book of Shadows, an enamel pin, but now they do those every other box or every few boxes, which I'm disappointed in because I love enamel pins. And a spell kit. Actually, let's see. Enamel pin, art print. 4 items. So the art print is cool. A bunch of different magic, witchcraft items. And then on the back, they started this about 2 years ago, and now they have monthly manifestations on the back of each of the cards. And I'm sorry about the light, it's all natural. There's nothing I can really do about that in this case. So you got the art print, and the art. What I usually do with the art prints is I put them in frames and hang them all over my house. I have some in my kitchen, some in my living room, a lot going up the hallway up to the upstairs, a few in the downstairs bathroom, so, and a couple sitting at my desk. So you got that. Here, let's move this out of the way. And then this month's spell kit is Divination Pendulum Ritual Kit. Ooh, another pendulum. Okay, so you get everything that you need for this ritual in the bag. And I started doing a lot of the rituals now. I've gone back, because when I first started, I wasn't like, okay, I really didn't need this ritual at the moment. And I've actually, I think in September and most of October, I've actually used about 6 of them. So you get the items that you need and a little card to tell you how to do the ritual. And then you always have art prints on the back of those. If you don't want to stick them after doing the ritual, stick these in your Book of Shadows. You could always frame them and have them as artwork too. So this is a Divination Pendulum Ritual Kit. You will need a pendulum board, and salt. So the salt's in the bag. Here's the pendulum board. So here's the bottom. It says Witch Casket. And all their items have Witch Casket imprinted somewhere on them, so you know that they're exclusive to Witch Casket themselves. So, and here's the no, yes, rephrase, uncertain board. So, and then here's the pendulum. And if you've actually seen my video, I don't remember where it was located, but if you've seen my video of my items, my magic items for my altar or for my traveled altar, you'll actually see I actually have a really nice, this is a nice pendulum, but I have a nice one that has a Celtic knotwork as its holder. So we got that. And I'll link my Instagram like I do every month, so you can actually see all the items. And as I said, these are biodegradable. So next we have a bag with a window frame and an athame. And these are nice bags. These are really reusable bags for things. That is cool. Nice wooden Athame. So I can actually finally retire mine after 30 some odd years of using it. And reblessing it and everything. So here's the art print on the card of the information, and this is a Beechwood Athame. Use this magical Athame to channel and direct energy and cast protective circles. An Athame has a commanding energy and is used to direct energy in a firm and decisive manner. So there's that, and that is cool. So we got this month's scroll. And this month is Fast Magic. And what I do with these is I flatten them out and then put them in my printer and print them up and put the printed pages into my Book of Shadows, because I'll print on the back side another sheet. So and then I keep these in a notebook in sheet protectors, and then when I get a better kitten bookcase, which I'm hoping to buy sometime by the end of the month with my royalty check bookcase, I'm going to roll them all back up and stick them on a shelf, on one of the shelves, like they did in old Roman times or Greek times, Babylonian period. So, but you have besom, you have a mirror, you have clothing, shower, stones, ginger, shoes. Place a coin in your shoe to attract wealth. And that's actually an old Celtic custom for weddings as well. So there's that. And here's this month's Enamel Pin. And it's the Athame. That is cool. That's actually going to go right on my coat, because I usually don't put pins on my jumpers. So, but that is a really cool pin. I like that. I like their enamel pins. Their enamel pins were a great addition to my pin collection. Next, we have this month's incense. Magical Cleansing Incense. It's a magical blend of dragon's blood and frankincense. And that is really cool, because I ran out of my dragon's blood incense. And you can smell the dragon scent, or not the dragon blood, but you can smell the frankincense. That's cool. That's good. Always good for cleansing. Okay, next we have Witch's Spell Candles, 100% soy wax. These high quality spell candles can be used as part of any spell or ritual. Use the color to match your intentions: white, green, and brown. So white's cleansing, green is good fortune, brown is grounding. And I'll open them up and show you them. They're light. They're not like dark green, dark brown, but there they are. They're like neutral tone colors. Neutral neutral colors of their colored base. Next we have Happiness Herb Blend, a magical blend of rose petals, strawberry leaf, and marigold. Use this magical herb blend in spells and rituals for happiness. Used to dress or circle candles, to add to charm bags and spell jars or ritual baths. Be great if I can actually read properly. But there we go. Excuse me. So that's cool. Another set of herbs. Okay, so it looks like we have 2 items left. I'll remove the box. Yep, 2 items left. Save that one for last. And then this one is a spell candle dressing tray. This is another one of those items where we really wanted an item for ourselves and found it didn't exist. So we created it for everyone. A beautiful tray on which to dress your candles. To prepare your candle for dressing, either anoint it with magical oils or lightly melt the surface with a lighter or match so that herbs may have something to adhere to. So that is really cool. And it is glass, and it's got witch casket on the bottom. So there's that. That is really nice, and you can put your candles here. Let's get it. So you put your herbs and oils there, and then you can just roll it around and let the candle collect everything. And then there you have your dressed candle. So that is really cool. That is very useful, especially for your personal home altar. And since I'm outside, I'm actually putting everything back in their boxes, so just in case I drop it, it doesn't break. Right there, I want to put this back on. There we go. And then the last item in the box for this month of October. See, we have an opulent black glass chalice. We have created a beautiful drinking vessel intended for ceremonial drinking and offerings. The chalice is often used to represent the element of water on a witch's altar. It is also a symbol of femininity and fertility. So that's cool. Now I can actually retire my goblet also as well. That's not as old as my Athame was. That was about 20 years old. My Athame was over 30 because, yeah, about 34? No, 32. Because I think I got it back when I was a junior in high school. So, I like the box. Oh, that is really nice. Got witch casket on the bottom. And I'm glad it didn't break up shipping from the UK to here in the US. That is really cool. I like that. That is really cool. And I'm going to keep it in its box for storage when I'm not using it. Okay, so that's this month's witch casket. My favorite items, as always, would be the enamel pin. But I would have to say the chalice and the Athame are my favorite items out of this month's box. So the spell dish is awesome, or the candle tray is really cool, and something I never thought I would ever need, but you never know until you get it, and then you go, how have I not been needing this? But out of everything, the chalice, the Athame, the enamel pin, and yes, the candle tray. Those are my favorite items. Candles are always a plus. Herbs are always a plus. Incense are always good. The scroll's always a good addition to the Book of Shadows. And this month's spell, I should put the spell back into the bag so I don't lose it. There we go. I would like to hear from you and see what your favorite items were. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good week. Have a happy Halloween, Samhain, All Hallows Eve, Day of the Dead. Whatever you guys celebrate, it's always alright. But I do hope you stay safe and have a great week and a great month, and see you next month.